Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pole on the Call podcast. My name is Mandy Mack,
Yay, and I'm Chris Rivers.
and today we are super excited because it's me and Chris today telling
Yes.
you how to start your very own pole podcast.
Or blog or YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this episode because we are shifting gears with our freebies and the things we offer. Because we are amazing at doing podcasts and stuff. I like to think we're amazing. I feel like we should share this so other people can start their podcast or grow their podcast. So I'm excited for this. This is also going to be part of our freebie, our new freebie, which will include how to start your own podcast planner. You might not be able to see it here, but we're going to share the screen in a moment. We are excited. So, are we ready?
Yes. Right,
Yeah.
because it might seem really intimidating starting a podcast because maybe you think you have a lot of things to say, but you don't know where to post it, how
Yes.
often you should post it, all
Yes.
sorts of things. So
We
hopefully
all
this will
have,
be a good guide.
yes, I'm sorry to interrupt. We all have that imposter syndrome.
Yes, 100%.
It's so
So,
scary.
but if the steps are laid out and it looks pretty simple, um, do it.
Yes. You got to take that step. You got to know and believe that you have a voice that people want to hear.
Yeah, and honestly, the only reason why I had enough courage to do it is because Chris had the brilliant idea, and I'm so happy that I went along with the ride, and here we are today,
Yay.
and passing the info on to you.
So happy you came along for the ride.
Yes.
Yes. So, what's the first thing you're supposed to do when you start your blog or your podcast? Okay, so let me do this share screen. I always, okay, so I have to make this bigger, right? Yeah. If you're listening, there will be a lot of great content, so don't worry. But you should also see check it out on YouTube because we are doing a share screen. Oh, you disabled screen sharing.
I was gonna say maybe I should make you the co-host. Here we go.
Okay. So while she's working on that, the first that was fast. Okay.
Now we
So the first
choose.
thing you want to do is pick a niche or a niche. I never know how to say that word, but pick what you want to talk about. And you might have to be specific with it. So you'll see podcasts on fitness or losing weight in fitness or the psychology of fitness. Our podcast, we aim to share pole education, but also offer a platform for pole dancers to share their stories and their businesses. So what do you think about this, Mandy?
Yeah, I mean it's really awesome. It's laid out really
Yes.
simple and yeah.
Oh, I meant about picking a niche as like the first step because that
Oh, yeah, I guess that's something that is really important just because you can't be all over the place.
yes.
Um, yeah, and like Chris said, ours is totally about community and sharing stories.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and yours can still be like that too.
Yes.
It could be about anything.
There's also other poll podcasts out there on different subjects. I know who started one. Didn't Bees Knees, was it Bees Knees who started one? Um, and then Salis Charming started one to interview her poll judges. And then there's Why We Poll. So really get down to what you want to talk about, what you love to talk about, and what you want to promote, that niche.
Yes.
Heidi, so I'm gonna go into the second page here. So this is our first page, how to of our free PDF, which you can get the link below. All you need to do is give us your email. That's all. So we set it all out for you. So we have the creator plan here, and we have your title of your podcast or blog, which is important. After you decide the niche you want to create, the title of your podcast. And it was Mandy who created our title.
You're right. It was right. You should create like the name and then just like your regular branding stuff too, like a logo,
Mhm.
and all of that good stuff. Just so it's really, oh, and like the brand colors, you have to
Yeah.
decide the brand fonts, all
Yes.
of that stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
just so your brand stands out, um, which are things that maybe people wouldn't really think of when they're starting a blog or a
Facts.
podcast.
And we learned with time. I mean, it was something you actually like told me constantly, but I mean,
Right,
I'm
it's
a man
only because I worked at the ad agency.
too funny.
Otherwise, I would not have known any of this. So thank
Yeah.
you, years of designing junk mail. That helped me.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So after you create your niche and your title, you want to decide who is your audience. Who are you serving? Oftentimes people go into it and they don't know who they're serving, so they either don't have the success that they want, or it's hard to gain a consistent audience. And I know we first had issues with this as well. Who were we serving? And yeah, we decided we wanted to serve everyone. And it was hard to figure out how we want to serve everyone. So the way we decided to do that was to create a platform and bring people on and interview them so we could, I mean, share every pole dancer that ever wants to be interviewed, God willing, higher power willing, and all that stuff. So it's worked out
Yeah,
great, thankfully.
right. And that might be a little intimidating as well. And I would say it's still intimidating every time we interview someone, but it's also been the most rewarding because you get to hear
Yes.
so many different stories. So I would highly recommend,
Yes.
um, you know, again, getting rid of the imposter syndrome
Yes.
and asking people if they would be interested in sharing what they know for your podcast or your blog.
Yes. And then finding the audience you want to serve. Who do you
Yeah.
want to serve? Do you want to serve the people looking for strength, the people looking for flexibility, the people looking for sexy pole? That audience that you want to create content for. So important. And then
Yes.
market to that audience as well. Of course, you can grow.
Yeah.
You don't have to get stuck to one audience. You can grow with time, but find that one audience first.
Yeah, and also like let me note something too, like age differences on social media. Like I'm in the 40 age group and sometimes social media stuff is like above my head. So just like making sure that you do a little bit of research about social media and figuring out what maybe like the young people what's hip and how
Yes.
to do cool posts.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. So it's important you check out your analytics, which is hard to do at first, but you'll learn with time. And in our upcoming advanced course, we will show you how to do that.
Yes.
Foreshadowing. But thank you for bringing that up, Mandy, because it is important to see what the audience is looking for, what that young population is looking for, what even that older population is looking for, or what people of other genders are looking for in your niche.
Yeah, and make sure your messaging reflects how they like to receive it too, because like it could be a great message, but maybe, yeah, maybe it should be more fun or maybe it should be more informative, like depending
Unless
on
you're
what the
trying to be that
audience.
controversial person. Some
Yes,
people like that. Some people like that. Like some people really do.
that's true.
Alrighty, so we'll move on. Next is our finding your niche keywords. What are those keywords you're going to use that will translate also into hashtags?
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, pole dance is often a lot, pole fitness, pole sport, sexy pole dance, pole choreography, so many different things.
mm,
Google search what people are searching, Instagram search what people are searching, whatever platform you want to serve or market
mhm.
on.
Yeah, and use them.
Yes, always use the keywords and hashtags, especially it's so important, especially on your website and social media. And this works for blog, podcast, and YouTube. Remember, y'all, blog, podcast, and YouTube, whatever you want to start for pole dancing.
Mhm.
So, Next in our little ebook, we have a little post calendar for you. Now, this is a great way to kind of break down. You should always come up with a list. Mandy's fucking amazing at this. She comes up with a big ass list of, I want to do these episodes. We should talk about that. And then we do it. Of course, I add episodes too, because you know, 'cause, you know, it's a team effort, but she's amazing at this. And I'm hoping this helps y'all as well organize your thoughts. It's really important to know what you want to talk about, maybe create the content ahead of time and schedule it so you don't fall behind. And hopefully this will help. Any thoughts on that, Mandy?
Yeah, I would just say like even if like physically writing it down is not something that you like to do, definitely getting it in writing somehow makes it more real. And then, you're just I love lists. I love crossing off the to-dos. So
Yes.
that is really something that I like to do. So it's I guess that's about your planning style.
Yeah. So now we have our post planning page. So we just went into like topic post planner, which was getting into specific post topics, but this is really getting into like the specific post. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. This breaks it down to like the title of the post. So whether it's a blog episode, a blog article, a podcast episode, or a YouTube video, you want to come up with a title of everything. The keywords you're going to add that are important. So when people search, you can find they can find that and those show up in the algorithms are important. You'll learn more about that in our advanced course coming. And then description, leave this for maybe a caption you want to write it or the notes you want to write, because podcasts and YouTube and blogs, I mean obviously blogs, you can write anything you want, especially in the comments or in the description part. So maybe plan that out. And then of course links and extra stuff. This is important, especially in blogs. This is why it was easier for me to make money on a blog, because I could add a link to of anything anywhere and people can click on that, and then that's how I got that affiliate pay. But yeah, what do you think of this page, Manny? Sorry, I'm just rambling.
No, this is brilliant. The last thing I guess I wanted to mention about that description is to once you have it written out, which always have it written out and plan it, like read it out loud because a lot of times you'll read it out loud and you'll be like, "Oh no, I'm missing like three words."
I know, I'm working
Um,
on that too.
Same. But yeah, that's a helpful hint from Mandy and Chris.
Yes. And make sure you get those links and extra stuff, because that's how people find you. If you have a website, which you should have a website, especially if you want to grow, add that link to it, all that important stuff. And YouTube, if you're creating a YouTube channel, it allows you to add link tabs in the video and link cards, which is so important. So make sure you learn how to add that. We can go into that in our advanced course.
Right?
So
Yeah, you
always,
always need to have like a call to action, which is something that
yes,
I didn't realize
yes.
before. But you have to tell people what to do. You have to be like, follow this link.
Yes. Even in a
Or
podcast, a blog, or a YouTube channel, it's the same as social media in that area.
yeah.
Alrighty, then we go into our freebie planner. And this is only if you want to really scale your podcast and really get to know your audience and have your audience get to know you. I really advise it, especially, I mean, if you just want it as a hobby, don't worry about this. Because you're just talking. But if you really want to grow and reach people, I definitely advise giving a freebie. Um, because it helps with your email list. Email list. Email lists. Mandy, what do you think about email lists after I told you the importance of it?
Right? It's super important because it puts them in front of your messaging every single time you send it out, and eventually they will, either be more supportive of your brand or like purchase something or
Yes.
recommend you.
Yes. So make sure your freebie is specific. So like we have this freebie here, which is a PDF planner of how to of helping you create your blog or podcast. That's our title. Then you have a description to plan it out, what you want. This is pretty much what I did when we started this free because I love planning this, and I know Mandy does as well. Um, and then the audience you want to serve with that freebie, examples of that is Body by Fran has specific freebies for like strength, and then like even freebies for like handsprings or things like that. So know the audience you're serving. And then freebie brainstorm. Brainstorm some stuff. What kind of freebies you want? Don't throw it all into one. I'm so bad at this with throwing it all into one.
Right? It shouldn't be too much work for this freebie.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people just give a page or two for their freebie or a 5-minute video. The importance is to give valuable free content that they'll want and give you their email so you can start your email list and reach out to them better than social media.
Yeah.
Yes. So get that freebie.
Right? And then you can say exactly what you want and not be censored by Instagram.
Yes. And in our advanced course that we are working on and we'll have out in a couple months, y'all. um,
Please wait for it.
yes, we will show you how to do those landing pages. Mandy is really good at the landing pages with MailChimp, but there's other ways you can do that. Um, Yeah, just learned about adding the freebies onto a hidden page on my website and linking it to the landing page rather than connecting it to the landing page. So it's pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff you can.
Yeah. Right?
All right.
Marketing.
Yeah. Then we go into this page. Take it away, Mandy, because I'm talking too damn much.
Weekly tasks and goals. This will be different for everybody, and depending on like how often you want to update your blog or your podcast. For us, we were aiming at the beginning to have a new episode every Thursday, and with two people, that is was super manageable for us. But for one person, that might not be
Mhm.
manageable unless you are I guess really you have no day job and this is your only thing that you're working on. But yeah, make sure that you write the weekly tasks and goals and make a list if that is what you like to do and cross them out. And if it's not working for you, don't get too upset about it. Just, revise because this is yours. This is your project.
I love that you said revise, always revising and growing and learning.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might like grow because this is our third year in our podcast, and we're
Hmm.
constantly like looking at what we're doing,
Hmm.
seeing how we can be more efficient, and if
Yes.
we're still aligned with our goals.
Yes.
That's another big thing. Yeah, weekly check-in with your goals. Very important.
I love it. All righty, we're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. I know this is a long freebie, but we want to give you this free content and get you ready for our courses coming out. This next page, take it away, Mandy.
Monthly tasks and goals, which is different from the weekly ones. So like let's say this would be like something like you want to get X amount of followers within the first month, or um, this amount of reactions on your blog, or comment goals, maybe you know 2 or 3 new people added to your email list, or 200 people added to your email list. Yeah, monthly tasks and goals. Um, and then there's a yearly one, right?
Did we do yearly? I did not do yearly. I should have done,
No.
we should have done
Well,
yearly. It's
thinking
okay.
about your yearly tasks and goals too, because, if you're in it for the longevity and you have a lot of things to express, maybe like breaking it down, maybe like the first year you spent doing like interviews, and the second year you wanted to do more research, or, the
Yes.
third year you made something. I don't
Uh,
know. That's your 3-year plan.
yes, you can always print this out and revise it too. So change the monthly to yearly, whatever you like.
Yeah.
We should have added that. I wasn't even thinking about that.
No, it's okay.
And then we added a little analytics page. Now, this, you don't have to use this, but I feel this is very important. We don't, I know myself and Mandy track it, like we're always constantly looking at it and learning from it, but we don't actually write it down. I mean, I don't, do you?
No, this is one of the parts of my advertising background which I didn't spend too much time with, so analytics is not my forte.
I will say it is really helpful. When I started my HIV blog 5 years ago, I did do this and I loved it. It definitely helped me scale and grow and see what posts and videos were working. Before the podcast, since we host it on our website, all of that gets transferred into an analytics view for us, which we can show you that as well in an upcoming course.
Yeah, and like it shows it all on YouTube as well, which is pretty
Yes,
cool.
exactly. In
Um,
social media as well.
Although there's really no rhyme or re I mean, I don't think there's a rhyme or reason to it. There's just some people watch this one.
It really
Nobody knows why they didn't watch this one.
it really is based on people's interests and marketing. Maybe they didn't see the multiple marketing posts that people put. Maybe like that's why it's so important you constantly market the same thing. I know it's like
That's
what the
true.
hell? I've been doing this over and over. Like don't do it like day after day after day, but definitely every couple days post it again so people can find it because they're not always going to see it.
Right? Because we might be on social media a lot more than regular people. They might just be on once a day and then they might not see your message at all.
Yes.
So post it again.
And they're following a ton more people than you.
Yeah.
So feel free to use this if you like, but don't feel obligated. And then, of course, an extra notes section for anything you want. Maybe you could do your yearly plans here, but notes are always good to take. Always have a notebook. I have multiple notebooks, and my pole coaches I have had all have notebooks. And my business coach I now have, Body by Fran, also has a notebook. So it's so important.
Yes. I agree.
So that's our quick overview and freebie of how to start your own pole dance podcast, blog, or YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a lot of content, especially because we went over the freebie planner. But I mean, I wish I knew this when I started 5 years ago for my blog or 3 years ago for the podcast. It's important information.
Yeah, right. It's just a good way to organize your thoughts. Um, yeah, of course, everyone's, learning and planning style is different,
Mhm.
but it is a good way to just get things started too, just in case you were like, I don't even know where to get started. Hopefully, this is makes it a little bit more tangible.
Yes. Because we need more pole dance podcasts. I mean, I know there were some even before us that didn't unfortunately go as far. And I understand because me and Mandy's at times were like, oh my God, this is hard. Like, are we going to continue? So, like, we definitely understand. And we hope like this kind of helps makes it a little easier for you. And we're excited for the new direction we're going. We definitely want to show that we're amazing pole dancers and we can teach you so much in that area, but we can also teach you about podcasting and networking and meeting others.
Right? Because it's not just about pole dance, it's also about living.
Yes, it is. So, is there anything else you want to add to this freebie or this also podcast episode? Because it's a twofer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the things that we didn't cover are like, how do you distribute your podcast and like all of those other things. So, will those will be covered in the paid one or the next one?
Hey, we can add it right now a little bit. I love that you brought that up. Thank you so much. This is great to write in your description and in your notes section how to distribute the podcast, like she said. Where we in our courses that we're working on are going to show you like video screen record and more in depth, but there are platforms who do it for you. Spreaker, which we use, it's freaking amazing. It you upload it into it, add the description, add the cover, add any keywords, you can schedule it, and then it distributes it to the Spreaker podcast. But you can also um link it and sign up for distribution to Spotify, Apple, Google. Yeah, we have it linked to a lot.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
so simple and like streamlined.
it is. Um, and there's also different ones. Anchor's another fun platform. So thank you so much, Mandy, for bringing that up. I didn't even think about distribution, but those are important things. Looking into how to distribute it. You can also, like we do, we put it on our website. And this is for podcasts and blogs. Well, no, Spreaker and Anchors for podcasts, blogs, website, obviously, YouTube, obviously YouTube.
Right, and the big thing about YouTube, the fun fact that we learned from Elizabeth Beefit, it was Elizabeth Beefit, right? Who told
Yes.
us that we should put our stuff on YouTube because YouTube is owned by Google, and once you start doing that, your content will be better indexed. And lo and behold, it started happening. So it's that was a really good tip. So definitely put your stuff on YouTube. Even if it's a blog, try to figure out how to maybe make like a video portion of your blog to
Mhm.
share and
Yes,
lead
like
it
it's
to
just
your
you
blog posts.
reading.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe I feel maybe it's just reading it. Some people like that.
Yeah, right? Then it makes it more personal and more authentic.
Yeah. It definitely does. I was
Yeah.
thinking to say something, but I completely forgot. But that's okay because we were already going into half hour of this. This was fun. I'm glad we did this episode and this freebie because it's a twofer. Now promos.
Yes.
If you want this
Um,
planner, make sure you hit the link and get that planner. It's a quick download, and then you're also going to get access to this video so you can watch it whenever. Check out our courses coming out in the next couple months. We are super excited, especially the how to start your own podcast, poll podcast. Yeah, it's interesting. I just brought this idea to Mandy. She was like, "That's amazing. We should try it."
it's a good idea.
And then, most importantly, poll awards.
Yes. Oh yeah, and our on our website we have some pole dance products that you can purchase for a limited time only. Once they are purchased, they might not be renewed.
Might not. Maybe in the
So
future.
limited time. So we have some interactive pole trick posters. We have some pole trick flashcards, which are really awesome, and they're really useful for not just for learning tricks, but for making combos and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So yeah, check those out. Limited time.
That's what I wanted to say. Whatever you do, podcast, blog, or YouTube, add it to your website. So important. Add it to your website. But enough of that about that. But yes, the Poe Awards. Start thinking of nominees that you want to nominate. Um, I'm creating that Google form and we're gonna have it on our website soon. So much to do. But
Right,
start
we need
thinking,
categories first. Thinking of categories.
yes. Well, what I was gonna do is give the categories that we already want
Okay,
put nominees and then add a section.
add
What
more.
categories do you want and who would you nominate?
Okay, so we'll have 2 rounds of voting.
Yes, the first one is nominees and what category you want and who do you want in it. And then the second one is after the nominees are all put in, voting from
The
the
other
list of nominees.
categories. Perfect.
Well,
Yeah,
the other categories, but also voting for that list of nominees.
sounds good.
So the
Oh my
Poe
gosh.
Awards, yes. And if you're looking to
Excited.
sponsor, please let us know. It will help us buy trophies and send those out and all sorts of cool stuff for the Poe Awards. And definitely get ready for our second annual Super Poe break.
Yes. Businesses, entrepreneurs, um, poll showcases that are upcoming. Yeah,
Yes.
anything.
I'll be in December. So get ready, you have a year.
You have a year, just plan anything. Right? Like get inspired by all of the interviews that we have and do it. Now is the time.
It is, yes. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode slash freebie. Make sure you check out that free download, especially if you're interested in starting your own podcast, blog, or YouTube, and you want to get more organized with it. And stay tuned for everything we have coming up. We are excited.
Yes. That's
Yes.
it for today, I guess.
Yes. And I am Chris Rivers.
And I'm Mandy Mac.
Yes, signing on.
I love how we don't wear our pleasers anymore. We're like, whatever.
I love it because I mean, pole dancing is everything.
Right.
But I do have my
Plus,
pleasings
like,
like here at my side too.
I am like, also, like, there's so many episodes. Like, how many pleasers? You've already seen them all.